A bustling city, where the skyline glinted with promise and ambition, Ava Turner found herself navigating the intricate halls of a corporate office. Every day was a battle, when she fought armed with determination and an unwavering work ethic. Ava had always been the kind of employee who poured her heart into every project, meticulously crafting ideas that could elevate her company. Despite her passion and dedication, there was an invisible barrier between her efforts and recognition. The helm of this barrier stood Mr. Richard Hargrove, her boss, an arrogant man whose manipulative nature cast a long shadow over Ava's aspirations. He thrived on belittling her contributions, taking credit for her innovative ideas in meetings while offering only dismissive remarks when she sought validation. Each time he spoke down to her in front of colleagues felt like a knife twisting deeper into her resolve. Days turned into months as Ava endured this toxic dynamic, hoping each new project would finally showcase her talents to upper management. But Mr. Hargrove had his own agenda. He seemed intent on keeping Ava in the shadows. Began to swirl around the office, whispers planted by him that tarnished her reputation, a clever move to ensure that she never climbed the corporate ladder. Amidst this storm of negativity was Liam Carter, Ava's steadfast coworker and confidant. With bright eyes and an encouraging spirit, he believed in Ava when no one else did. Liam watched as Mr. Hargrove chipped away at her confidence, offering words of support during their coffee breaks and reminding Ava of her worth. Noon, they sat together during lunch as Ava shared yet another instance where Mr. Hargrove had dismissed one of her proposals outright, this time in front of clients who were genuinely interested in what she had to offer. Stung deeply, it was not just about lost opportunities, but also about being perceived as inferior despite hard work. Listened attentively before speaking up. He reminded Ava that she was talented and capable, of force to be reckoned with if only she could rise above the obstacles set before her. His belief ignited a flicker of hope within Ava's heart, a feeling that perhaps justice could prevail someday. As days rolled on under Mr. Hargrove's oppressive management style, hope often felt like a distant dream overshadowed by despair and frustration. The office environment grew increasingly hostile. Colleagues exchanged sympathetic glances but remained silent witnesses to the bullying perpetrated by their superior. Every meeting became a performance where Mr. Hargrove reigned supreme while Ava faded into obscurity, the applause usually directed toward his hollow declarations, rather than acknowledging any genuine contributions from those around him. Amidst this relentless cycle of undermining behavior, Ava going was not just Liam's encouragement, but also an inner resolve blossoming quietly within, a seed planted by years of silent suffering, coupled with fierce determination not to let injustice define who she was. Each evening after work ended, and the fluorescent lights dimmed across the building's facade, reflected on how far she'd come despite it all. Years spent honing skills that deserved recognition instead buried beneath layers of sabotage, crafted by someone wielding power unjustly. Weeks turned into months without change or justice coming forth from HR or upper management, despite numerous complaints lodged against Mr. Hargrove. Ava knew deep down something had to give eventually. Now, she'd continue fighting through adversity until victory tasted sweet enough. Sweet enough for everyone else watching too, all those who bore witness silently alongside them every day inside these walls filled with whispered discontentment echoing off sterile white walls. Ava had poured her heart and soul into the project, in late nights and sacrificing weekends to ensure every detail was perfect. Visioned this presentation as a defining moment in her career, a chance to showcase her hard work and creativity. Just days before the deadline, Mr. Hargrove's shadow loomed larger than ever. In a sudden twist of fate, he altered the timeline without consulting Ava or her team. Tight deadlines left them scrambling, unable to deliver their best work. Ava felt the weight of despair settle in her chest as she tried to rally her colleagues, but every effort seemed undermined by Mr. Hargrove's manipulations. A day of the presentation arrived with an air of anxiety swirling around the conference room. They gathered. Ava could feel her heart racing. She couldn't shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Time for upper management to hear about the project's success. All eyes turned toward Mr. Hargrove. He stood confidently at the forefront, spinning tales about his leadership and vision, while crediting himself for what Ava had painstakingly built from scratch. Words felt like daggers piercing through her spirit as he overlooked her contributions entirely, painting a picture where she was merely a bystander in her own story. Each word that spilled from his lips, Ava's world crumbled further. Colleagues who once supported her now exchanged glances, filled with confusion or envy. They were caught in Mr. Hargrove's web of deceit and manipulation. Applause erupted after his speech. Ava remained frozen in place, a mixture of disbelief and humiliation crashing over her like cold waves on a winter shore. Her mind raced back through years of sacrifice, only to culminate in this moment where she felt invisible and utterly defeated. Inside the conference room, tears welled up in Ava's eyes as Liam approached cautiously, concern etched across his face. He knew how much this meant to her, and could see how deeply affected she was by yet another betrayal. He held sharply, fighting back emotions threatening to overwhelm her rationality. This wasn't just about one project. It represented everything that had led up to this moment, the years of hard work overshadowed by Mr. Hargrove's arrogance and greed. Those agonizing moments alone with Liam, Ava found clarity amidst chaos. There would come a time when silence could no longer be an option against such blatant injustice. The evening marked a pivotal turning point for Ava Turner, a woman ignited by fury rather than defeat. She vowed silently that enough was enough. In order to reclaim not just her dignity, but also protect others who might find themselves facing similar fates under Mr. Hargrove's reign of sabotage, she needed evidence, solid proof that would expose him for who he truly was. With renewed determination coursing through her veins like fire dancing on dry kindling wood, he began planning meticulously. Every detail mattered now more than ever if justice were to be served for herself, and perhaps countless others at risk within these corporate walls, dominated by fear-driven tactics rather than meritocracy itself. And so began Ava's quest, not fueled merely by revenge but an unwavering commitment toward justice that would ultimately transform not only herself, but also reshape their workplace forevermore. Breaking point arrived in the form of a project. She had poured her heart and soul into a chance to prove herself. It was an important initiative for the company, one that could elevate them above their competitors if executed well. For weeks, Ava worked tirelessly, crafting strategies and innovative solutions that showcased her skills. She meticulously prepared her presentation. Hope surged within her. Perhaps this time would be different. However, just days before the deadline, Mr. Hargrove made a sudden and unexpected change to the timeline without consulting Ava. He moved the goalposts, leaving her scrambling as he reassigned critical resources and altered project parameters without explanation. The chaos he sowed was palpable, yet Ava held on to her determination, pouring every ounce of energy into salvaging what remained. On presentation day, Ava entered the conference room with a sense of trepidation mixed with excitement. He had gathered all her notes and rehearsed tirelessly to ensure she delivered an impactful performance despite the setbacks imposed upon her by Mr. Hargrove. However, as the meeting progressed, it became evident that everything had been orchestrated against her from the start. Upper management lauded Mr. Hargrove for his vision in spearheading this project, completely ignoring Ava's invaluable contributions that were overshadowed by his brazen arrogance. The applause echoed around her like a cold wind slicing through warmth. It stung deeply as she realized that once again, she was being robbed of recognition for work she had cultivated so passionately. Public humiliation washed over Ava like icy water, every word of praise directed at Mr. Hargrove felt like another layer stripped away from her dignity. A bitterness clotted her insides while tears threatened to spill forth, but she swallowed hard against them. There would be no more silence. That moment of despair transformed into fierce resolve. Something inside Ava snapped. She vowed not only to reclaim what was hers, but also to bring down the man who had held power over her life for far too long. With renewed focus following this incident, Ava started gathering evidence against Mr. Hargrove's unethical practices almost methodically. Instances of fraud where funds were misappropriated under false pretenses began piling up alongside testimonies from colleagues who had witnessed harassment or manipulation behind closed doors. Liam remained steadfastly supportive throughout this process. His presence became both a source of comfort and motivation as they navigated risks together, while documenting each detail meticulously for submission to HR and upper management. Between them grew palpable, but fueled by excitement rather than fear. They were finally taking control back from their oppressor after years spent beneath his shadowy reign, filled with intimidation tactics designed solely to belittle those around him. Finally came the day when they stood before Sarah Mitchell, the oblivious HR manager, who unknowingly served as an instrument for holding down many spirits within their workplace, due lackadaisical attention towards complaints lodged prior. About Mr. Hargrove's behavior. /N. Ava presented all findings carefully laid out in neatly organized files, bound together showcasing extensive documentation alongside testimonials confirming accusations ranging from workplace bullying through financial misconduct all. Practiced relentlessly until perfected. Ash and Sarah's eyes widened gradually as realization dawned upon her. Shock morphed into disbelief, morphing swiftly into horror. The corrupt nature behind one individual's facade, unmasked right before them, left no room for question regarding Ruth lying bare open amongst stacked evidence displayed on Sarah's desk. /N. This was it. Avenge brewed slowly yet steadily through every hour spent collecting proof, juxtaposed against memories defined by anguish now transformed into vindication. Ready at last! !N. As Sarah absorbed what lay in front of her, the culmination. Reflecting years worth persevering against wrongdoings inflicted on countless individuals, including themselves, it marked not only an end, but also heralded beginnings, anew paving paths toward justice never imagined possible. The aftermath of Ava's courageous stand was nothing short of transformative. News of the investigation into Mr. Hargrove's unethical practices spread through the office. A palpable shift occurred among her colleagues. The oppressive atmosphere that had once weighed heavily upon them began to lift, replaced by an air of newfound hope and camaraderie. Mr. Hargrove's downfall was swift and dramatic. The results of the investigation revealed a tapestry of deceit woven from years of manipulation and fraud. Upper management acted decisively, firing him amidst scandalous allegations that rippled through the corporate world like wildfire. Colleagues who had once feared his wrath now whispered in relief, as they learned that justice had finally prevailed. As for Ava, she received unexpected recognition for her bravery and integrity. A very leadership team that had overlooked her talent time and again, now turned their gaze toward her with respect and admiration. Just weeks after the fallout, Ava found herself summoned to a meeting with senior executives, a gathering she would have previously only dreamed about attending. With a mix of trepidation and excitement swirling within her, she entered the conference room where decisions that shaped careers were made. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation as executives discussed not only what had transpired, but also how to move forward from this dark chapter in their company's history. Ava listened intently as they acknowledged her pivotal role in bringing Mr. Hargrove's misconduct to light. It was clear they recognized the courage it took for her to gather evidence against him when others remained silent out of fear. With every word spoken around the table, a sense of pride blossomed inside Ava. This was no longer just about revenge or personal vindication. It was about fostering change within an environment that desperately needed it. A moment destined to redefine her career path forevermore. One executive leaned forward earnestly, commending Ava for her unwavering commitment to ethics within their workplace culture. Promotion awaited her, one that not only recognized her hard work, but also positioned her as a beacon of integrity going forward. She accepted this opportunity with both gratitude and determination. An overwhelming sense of purpose washed over her, a realization that she could shape policies ensuring accountability, while supporting colleagues who might face similar challenges in the future. Meanwhile, word spread throughout the office regarding Ava's promotion, the hallways filled with murmurs of admiration rather than envy for what she had achieved against all odds. Her journey sparked renewed courage among employees who had felt trapped under oppressive management styles before. Inspired by Ava's actions, many began voicing their concerns where silence once reigned supreme. Afternoon soon after earning her new title, Ava stood before a group gathered for an open forum where employees could discuss workplace issues without fear of retaliation, a safe space fostered thanks to recent changes spurred by both recent events and new leadership perspectives. Prioritizing transparency above all else, and sharing stories filled with vulnerability yet resilience during these sessions. Employees bonded over shared experiences. They no longer felt alone in navigating corporate challenges shaped by toxic dynamics created long ago under Mr. Hargrove's reign. Months passed since those tumultuous days filled with uncertainty faded into memory like footprints washed away by waves at sea. Ava looked back on everything. How far she'd come from being silenced by someone else's arrogance, and how standing up ultimately propelled not just herself but everyone around toward brighter futures, forged together through collaboration rather than fear-driven. Isolationism previously endured within those walls, lined with whispers echoing discontentment. Ow. She embraced each day anew, not simply as another hurdle tackled but rather as an opportunity awaiting discovery, a chance for change ignited through fearless determination, leading others past boundaries once thought insurmountable.